Hello everyone. So today we'll be setting up our machine for source code management. So for that, I'll be taking some steps. So first step would be creating a Bitbucket account. So for that, you need to follow the below steps. First of all, you need to open the site Bitbucket, and then you have to sign up with your preferred email account. You can either use your Gmail account or any account that you use for your learning. Then you need to create a repository. So the first two steps I already have taken. So I'll just go and create a repository now. So you can see here, just after the login, you can see the dashboard in the overview. And here I'm going to create a repository. So let me show you how to create a repository here. So first of all, the workspace will be already taken care by the application itself. Now, if you have a project, you can create a project, or if you don't have, it's okay. You can go ahead and create a project. So I just given a name here. Okay. Then I'll give the repository name here. So I'll just give this as VZ repo. All right. I'll be not making this as a private repository. So private repository is one that will not be accessible by anyone else outside, but I'll keep this as a public so that it could be used by anyone. And then it's asking for include a README file. Yes, I would be adding that. And then I'll be creating a repository now. It will take some time to set up, and now you can see the repository is ready, and by that initial commit already the readme.md file is already been there. So now you can see here the branches information. So by default the branch will be master. This is the main branch. You can have multiple branch later. I'll tell you how to do that. And you can see here it is git clone https my Bitbucket account and the repo I just created. So using this, you can create, okay, and pull all your code to your local machine. So what I'm going to do now is, it is already mentioned here, like learn more or clone in source tree to avoid the command line. As I discussed earlier in my other videos, that we'll be using the source tree as a free source tree to do our operations. Okay, so let's see what can we do now. Okay, so the next step will be download and install source tree. So first step will be download it from the official site source tree, then install the source tree, and then clone the remote repository. And I'll show you how to do that. So I already downloaded it from source tree. I'm now trying to install that. Let me show you how to install it. Okay, you can see here it's now trying to download and installation will happen. So I'll just continue. So it's talking about setting global author details for Git and Mercurial. I'll be just leaving it as it is now. So now it's asking me to connect a host account. So I'll do that later. And the next step is clone the remote repository. And I'll show you how to clone it now. So see, if you click on this new button, you can see clone from URL or create a remote repository. As already we have something, we'll clone from a URL. When you click on it, you can see there are source URL. It's asking for the source URL. And the destination path will be your local machine path where you will be keeping all this whatever information comes from the remote repository. And you just want to give the name. Okay. So let's see where is this URL will get from? So we'll go back to our Bitbucket. You can see here, this is the one. And if you click on this clone, you can copy this. Okay, so either HTTPS or SSH. So we'll go with HTTPS now. We'll copy it and we'll, or you can just directly click on clone in source tree. So it will ask and just open source tree. So now it already has taken this thing. You can see here, right? So now I want to choose the destination path. So let it be whatever path has been selected by source tree and this bookmark name, and it also shows that yeah, this is a Git repository. So I'll clone it. Okay, done. So this is so easy so far, and you can see here this is the master branch, and if you just maximize it, you can see some information over here. So this is the initial commit is happened when we created the repository. Okay, and now we'll follow the next steps. So the next steps are we'll download and install IDEA. So as I mentioned, IntelliJ IDEA is an IDE for writing the Java code. So we'll be using that. So before that, we'll be downloading it from the IntelliJ IDEA official site. Then we'll be installing it, and then we'll open the working directory. So this working directory is nothing but, well, I just downloaded and installed IntelliJ IDEA, and now we will go and open our working directory. So if you click on here, then we'll go to this path, and you can see this readme file is over here. So I'll just open it. Now you can see our repository is open. We can see our readme file here. And now we'll go to the next steps. So the next steps will be add some file structure to this. Okay, so we'll be adding some structure and we'll be pushing that code later to our remote repository. Okay, so let's add some files to this. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be using Maven as our build dependency tool. So we'll be adding a add framework support here. So when you install IntelliJ IDEA, it already installed by default these three things. So I'll be setting Maven here and then click OK. And yes, so every time you add a new file, it will ask if you want to add these files to the Git. As we are going to add everything into the remote repository later, we should be doing this, and let's add it. Okay, and then so you can see when you add the POM XML, the by default structure would be ready. All right, but when you this is just a directory, will not be able to push this, so we'll need to add some basic structure to this. Okay, so let's just add some uh, file, and the file name will be the first file dot txt. Okay, so anyways, we'll be adding this now, and later we'll be deleting that from our repository. So just I write here, this is the first add, commit, and push. After doing all that, let's follow the steps back again. So we will open the source tree, and we'll check if all these added files has been tracked automatically. Then we'll add them to the index file, and then finally commit the code, and then we'll push the code to remote. So let's open the source tree again. So here we'll just show the pending, whatever is now just been added. What we will do is we'll just add these files, add to index. You can see like this, right? Now, when you try to commit, it will ask for something like what you want to associate with your commit message. So just choose this full name as like my MacBook and just click on OK. So here you can see now it already came over here and it's asking about you can just directly push the changes immediately to original master. Will not do that now. And if you select here the split view staging, you can see here what are the files we just staged. If this view is not good for you, you can still go for flat list single column. So in that case also you can see what are the different files has been added here. And these files, yes, we'll be ignoring those later. So I'll push here. I'll put my commit message like my first commit, and then I'll just click on commit here. So these are the same commands that we do by you know in command line, but we are using the source tree over here. So let's commit. Okay guys, so let's now try to push the code. You can see here there is one icon showing that we have one push pending. So when you click on push, it will ask for that which the repository you are going to push. So we will be using the same origin, and yes, the local branch and the remote branch will be the same, and we'll just click on OK. So when it's trying to push, it should ask for the password that you want to use. All right, so let me try my password here. And then click on OK. Yes, so you can see now it is giving a message saying that completed successfully. Let's close it. And now let's go back to the remote repository and check if all these files are on the same our repository page. Let's just refresh this. Great. So you can see now my first commit message also has been displayed here, and you can check our POM XML file and the first file that I have just added is here. So this is pretty much. I hope you understand how to create a repository on Bitbucket and using the source tree, how to clone it, and then how to add to the index file, commit, and then push it. And you also know how to install IntelliJ IDEA and open the working directory. So in the next uh, session, I'll be telling you about the automation framework design. So I'll be starting with how the framework will be structured. For example, what are the different directory we are going to create. So stay tuned.